So hello and welcome to day 7 of this full stack application. So today we are going to continue with our routes here, and also here I'm going to create a shift now route. So here I'll just say shift and JS, and by now you already know how we are creating this route and functionality, but this shift now will be having a lot of functionality, and this one will be a very good functionality to also show you how you can use other advanced method in Mongo, or when you're using MongoDB in your database. So here first thing, as you know, is to get Express or to import Express. So let us import Express here, and by importing Express here, just like that, we can be able also now to create the route. So I'll just say const and then router, and then after that I can say express, and then I'll call the function that is router here, the same way we did with the other routes. And here I can first of all make sure I'm able to export, or I have exported the router, just like that, as simple as that. So here now is where I need to start working on our functionality, and the very first functionality that I need is this for add shift. So I'll just say add shift here. So that is the functionality that I want to code here. And before that, I can go to my entry file here, which is index.js, and create the route here before I forget. So I'm going to copy this, and then I'm going to paste it here. Here I'm going to call this shift route. So shift route here, and here I'm going to import the file for shift in our route, that is. So here is a shift, and then here I'm going to save again, and now I can go back into, let me go back into my router here, and in my shift here I'm going to add router dot post, and here is just a default route. Here we need request and then response, and here also I need to add now the functionality inside here. So the very first thing that I need to do is to say try catch here. So this is try catch. Here I need to say const, and then here we say new shift, so something of the sort. Here I'll just say await, or I can say shift, and then this shift we are going to import it from our model. So let me check here in our model here, this shift, we don't have shift right now, so now it means that we need to create shift here inside our model, and this is something that I forgot to do. So here I'm going to create shift.js, and then here I'm going also now to be able to create this shift, because this is a schema that we forgot to create. And so here first of all, let us import mongoose. So I'm going to import mongoose here, and this one will be from mongoose package. So this is from mongoose here, something of the sort. And then the other thing that I need to do is const shift schema. So let us create this schema here. So this one is a shift schema, some like that, and then I'll say mongoose dot schema, and then here I'm going to add this inside here, and I'm going also here to just import to export, that is. So I just say model dot exports, and then here I'm going to now say mongoose and dot model. So I'm going back here, dot model, and here I'm going to add shift. So add shift here, and here I'm going to add shift schema, something of the sort. Now that's okay. So now inside here I'm going to now be able to add now our data. So I'll start by location here, and inside here location I'm going to add this as a type of string. So this as a type of string, and also it will be required. So I just say required or require, and then this is true because we need it. So here I'm going to copy this, and then I'll be pasting down here how many times. Let's say like 7 times here. So these are 6, 7. So here I'm going to change now from location. We need also the date, we need time. So here we need time, and we need also the duration or the type. So here is the type, and here also I need to add duration. So this is duration, have client here. So this is client, and also we need to have like a staff email. So this is staff email here. So what else? So here we need also, let us paste again, like maybe let's say maybe here we need also amount. So this is amount that this shift is going to pay. So amount, and here this is a number. So change this to be a number, and here after amount we need also to say paid or to ask paid here, and here this should be also be a number. So this one should be a number here, and let's say here default. So rather than require, I'm going to say default. So default should be now 0, and then again we need also the distance. So here also amount here should be 0, default to be 0. So default to be 0 here. So the other thing is that here in after paid we need also to have distance. So this is distance, and distance also is a number, and distance will have a default of 0 also. So this has a default of 0, default should be 0, and also I need to add here after distance we can have status. So status here I'm going to add it. This also should be like a string also, but it will have a default of pending. So here I'm going to say here default. So when it is we add default here, it will be added if there is no value that has been sent by the user from our front end or our admin. It will just add that default in our database. So it is not a must that you send the one that you are seeing we add here default here. Okay, so here I just say default, something of the sort. What else? So here in the location, and also here after status we need also to be having notes here, and here we need to have notes, and in here in our notes this one should not be required because admin can add a shift that doesn't have any notes. So if the admin doesn't want to just add any notes, he can or she can be able to just leave it like that. So we need also the information for clocking, and clocking here it should be array. So this one we should add as array here, and here inside the array we need an object, and now this object is the one that will be holding our information. So in our clocking we need to have time, so we'll have time here as this string here. Also we need to add another information accuracy, and accuracy we are going to get it from Google Map. So this is accuracy here, and here I'll add as a type of, let's say this is a number, and here also we need to have another coordinates here, or another data which is coordinates, and inside these coordinates here we need to have an object that we have a latitude. So this is a latitude, and latitude here should have a type of string, and here also we need to have a longitude. So here we need to have a longitude, and in this part here we'll add this one as a string, as a number. Okay, this should be a number, and this also should be a number. So these two are number, and then what else do we need? Also, I'm going to copy this clock in, and now I can be able to paste it down here. So first of all a comma, then paste it here. So this one here we need to add is just change here, because the same information for clock in will be used for clock out. So I'm going to change that to clock out, and then here also I need now to have information for case notes. So when we add case notes, so here is case notes. So let me say case notes here, and also down here we need to add now the information that we need for case note, and case note here is also an array. So I'm going to add an array here, and inside this array we need to have this object. So this one we have time, and in our time here we need to have a type, and this one is a string. Here we need also to have event. So let's add event here, and in this event here we need to have a type, and also this is a string, and here also we need to have a string, a event, a time event, and also here we need to have notes. So as simple as that. So these are the information that will be required to add these case notes. So this also is a string, something of the sort now. So I think that's, and we need here to also have is active here, and in this is active here we need to have a type here to be string, and also here, okay, this one we can add as a boolean, and also we need to say default to be true. So here default will be true. So is active or is active, it will be true by default. So let me save this, and in here I think I have finished now creating the model for our shift. So we are going now to go into our routes here, and let me first of all save also or format this document. So I have saved that document like that. And one thing that I forgot to tell you is that if you want to format your document the way I'm doing, you just right click and then format here. You also need to add another, or to install another extension that is called Prettier. So you just come here and type Prettier, and I think Prettier should come here. So you can see this Prettier here. So you need to install this extension so that it will be able to help you to be formatting your code. So let me save here, save this info here, and I can go back to my shift in our routes. So let me save this, let me come here and also be able to now add this shift, or to create this functionality for adding this shift. And right now here I can also be able now to, so now here I can be able now to just import shift model. So you can see shift model here, and now here I be able to add request.body, and then here also I'm going to start creating now the data that I want to save also. First of all, I'll be saving this shift, and also here I'll just say now const, and now I'll add shift like that, and here I'll say await, yeah, and I will say new shift like that, and then dot save. Here you need to add async here, so async here like that. Yes, and here what I'll do is that also, because have added this shift, I need to first of all also check if this shift that have been added, it has a staff email, because if it has staff email, then that means that we need to send an email to notify the staff that there is a new shift that has been assigned to them, so that they can check it in our system, or they should be notified that we have added another shift for them. So I'll say if now, so you can pause this video here and maybe try to just look at if you can be able to create the functionality. But if you can follow me, if you don't want to do that, so here I'll just take request.body and then staff email like that. And here now I can be able to say await. If we have a staff email here, then I will be able to send now assign or shift here, because you can see now we cannot be able to autocomplete that. I'm going to check here, so shift assignment. So here we are calling this function shift assignment, send shift assignment, and here you can see also the information that we need to send to this function so that it can send the email. So here I'm going to say send shift assignment like that, and inside here now you can see the information that we need. First of all, we need to send the location, so I'll just say request.body.location. Also we need to add request.body. After location we have the date, so date we need to also add request.body and then .time. We need also to add request.body.type, and here I need also to add request.body.duration, and also we need to add request.body.client, and also here I need to add request.body.staff email like that. And here we need to add request.body and then .notes like that. So after this, now here we be able to send that email, and if there is an error, now I'm going to add res.status or here is just a code, so 500.json and then error like that. So that is it. What else do I need to add as a functionality? So that is adding the shift. So here I'm going also to be able to add or this to get all shift. So get all shifts here. So after that, here I'm going to say router.get. Here I'm going to say the route, and here is a request response as usual. So here, this one here, this information, I'm just going to say try and then catch. So in here I need to get all the shift, and this also is the good time to just pause and see if you can create the functionality here. So and then you continue with me. So here I just say shifts. So I'm going to say shifts here, and then in this time now I can say await, and then I'll say shift dot find, and then here dot sort, and in here sorting I need to say created at, and here I will say -1. So here I need to add a sync like that. So that way. So after shift now I can send this 200 and then .json, and then I can say shifts, and if we have an error here I can say res.status 500.json. Okay, here .json, and then here I'm going to send the error like that. So that is it. What else do I need? So here I need now to be able to update the shift. So I'll say update shift. I'm going to say router dot put, and in here I need to just give an ID. So here I'll say ID like that. So request response, and then the functionality here. So here I'm going to try catch. So I'm going to say try catch here. The other thing that I need to do is to say const shift, and then this time I'll be await. I'll say await, then I'll say shift, and then find by ID, and update like that. So here that is the function. So here first of all also I need to say async, and in here I need to add several things. First thing is request.params.id. So that is the ID that we'll be sending, and here I'm going to use this function here set, and inside this set I'm going to add request.body. So another thing is that we need to set new to true here. So that is it. And what else? So here I'm going also to give after now this I'm going to send. So I'll just say res.status, and I'll just say 201, and then .json, and here I'm going to send now this shift just like that. And then here I can say res.status 500.json, and then here I'll just send the error. So and that is it. So here I can save. So here another I want to create another function, and then here I'll just say this function should be get users shift. So we need to get users shift or shifts or whatever, something of the sort. So maybe add the capital. So I'll just say router dot post. So this is post because we'll be sending some email. So this one will be route of me, and then in here I'll add request and then response, and inside here we can do the logic now. So here also is a good point to go ahead and look if you can get the functionality for getting the users shifts. So let me just create that functionality. So here the first thing that we need to do, let me drag this down here because this somewhere that you can maybe not you can get confused. So here I'm going to add and say const and then shifts, and here I'm going to say await, and then I'll say shift dot find here, and inside here we need to send a condition. So our condition will be, first of all, let me add here async. So our condition here will be checking for a field that is called staff ID or staff email, sorry, and I'm going to check request.body.email because we are going to send an email, so that it can check if there is a, in our staff email field here we have, or in our database here in our staff email we have the email that we'll be sending from our client, so that we can take all the shift and send it to our staff. So here also I need to do the sort, and then here I'm going to say created at here to sort it, created at, and then I say -1, just like that, and then I can say res.status like that, and then 201, and then 200, that is 200.json, and then here I'm going to send those shifts. Now after that, here I'm going to say res.status, and then I'm going to say 500.json, and then here error like that, and then what else do we need here? So this is it, and again here we need to do one thing. So here we need to also create a functionality for unassigning, or so we are going to say unassign, so unassign shifts. So when we want to unassign shift, so here I'm going to say router, so router here, and then dot post. Here I'm going to add this arrow here and say unassign, and then here I'm going to add requests and then response, and here I'm going now to start to try catch, and here I'm going to add const, or I'll just say const shifts, unassigned shift, unassigned shift, and here I'm going to add a wait, and then here also we need to add async up here, and then after await here we need to say shift dot find again, but this time now we are going to look for staff email, and then here I'm going to now say to just give it like this empty field here, so that is an assigning, and also here I'm going to say sort, and we just say created at, so here, and -1, just like that. So right now I'm feeling like this is let's say, I don't know if this is okay, I know what I'm going to do. So I don't think this functionality is right, so I'm going to check, and then I'll come here and finish this functionality, because I feel this functionality is not right, because here we cannot identify which shift we want to unassign, or which staff we want to unassign this shift, that is. So I'll just be checking that. So let me first of all just send this unassign shift, so I'll just say 200 and then JSON, and here I'll add that unassigned shift, or send that unassigned shift. Here I'm going to say res.status, and then 500, then error here. We need to send that error, and then after unassigning the shift, so the other thing that we can do is to get shift, so one shift, so like that. We need here to comment this, so get shift or a shift here, so we can say router dot and get. So here I'll just say find, and then I'll add this ID. I'll send the ID. Here I'm going to say request and then response, and here we can now give the functionality. So the functionality here, and now this try catch. So the first thing that we need to do is to get the ID. So ID here, or even I can just go direct and say await. So this one should be await, and then okay, const, let me add say shift, and then here I'll just say await, and then here I'll say shift dot find by ID. So find by ID, just like that. So find by ID, and then here I'll just say request dot params dot ID, like that. So here I'm going to add async, and then here also I'm going to say shift, and then here I'm going to add res.status, and here I'm going to say 200, and then JSON. Here is a shift, so we are going to send that shift that we have found using this ID, and then here I say res.status, so res.status 500, and then error. So this one is error, like that. So that is get shift. So I'm going now to delete also. So here I'm going to say delete, and here I'm going to say router dot delete here, and I'm going to say as ID. So I'm going to say slash ID here, and then this one will be request, and then response, and here I'm going to add now the functionality. So try catch here, I'm going to add here await. Now I'll say await, and then here I'm going to add res dot shift, that is shift dot find by ID and delete, something of the sort. Here I'm going to pass request dot params dot ID, like that, and then here I'm going to add async, and here I'm going to send now the message. So I'm going to say res.status. So here is 500, 201, and then I'll just say JSON, and here I'm going to send the message. Our shift has been deleted successfully, like that. And what else do we need? So we need also to add or to send the error here if there's an error. So 500, then .json, and then error here, like that, and that is it. Here we have delete. Now we need to look functionality for unassigning. So here we need to look for unassign. So here I'm going to assign the shift. So assign shift functionality. So here is router, and then here is post. So this is put, sorry, because we are going to update. So here I'm going to add this route assign, and then here I'm going to add ID, and then here is a request, and then response. Here I'm going also to add this square brackets, and in here I'm going to say try, and then catch. Here I'm going to say const updated shift, and here I'm going to also add async, and here I'm going to say is equals await, and then here I can say shift, and then find by ID and update. So this one here. So in here we need to say request dot params dot ID, and the other thing that we need, so here I don't know why we are getting a lot of text. So here we need also to add this set. So this set function here, and this one is request dot body, and here also I'm going to add new to be true, and then after this now I'm going to add here to to be, because now I have updated. What else that we need to do is to make sure that also we have checked if this to update this there was an email, because if there was an email then it means then we need to just to send the email also to assign the shift. So here I'll just say if request dot body. Actually, I'm going to just copy and paste this functionality here because it's the same. So I'm going to copy all of this, and then I'm going to paste it down here. So let us scroll down here and then paste it here. And now the other thing that we need to do is to send the updated shift. So here I'm going to say 200, and then let's send the updated shift. So updated shift like that, and then after that now I can say res dot status. So dot status here, and then I'm going to say 500 dot json, and then here this is an error like that. So this one okay, it's good. So now the other thing that we can add, or the other functionality, is to be adding now the case notes. So I want us to add the case note, and in this here you can you see the difference now when we are adding the case note. So when we add case notes for our shift, so add case notes, and in here I'm going to now say router. Okay, this is should not be capital. So router dot put, and here I'm going to say case notes, and then here this is an ID, and then here I'm going to say request, and then response, and here also I'm going to add the functionality now. So how does the functionality look like for our case notes? So here I'm just first of all going to say request and add try catch, and then I'll say const. Here this the details that we need from our client or from front end. I'll say event, we need to get event time, and then notes, and this one here I'm going to get them from request.body like that. So after this now I'm going to say if there is a event and time and also notes. Here now what am I going to do? So I'm going to add a case note. So I'll just say case note like that. I can add it case note, and then I'll say await, and here I can add this async, because when we do await, we need also to do await. And here I can say shift, and then here I will say find by ID and update, so like that. So this is case note, and here I'll just add now request dot params dot id, like that. So what else do I need? Now here this will be a little bit different, and in this case I'm going to do push. So first of all, I'm going to add this push function here. Remember, we were using set, now we are going to use push, and in this push now I'm going to push in this field that is case notes. Remember, case note is an array, so here we need to look for case notes, and then in this case notes I'm going to push event, time, and notes. So, and they should be respective here, so you can see they should follow event, time, and then notes, like that. So after this, if else, and I can just revert, I can just send now. Actually I will not send, so I'll just say dot status, and then here I can say 200 or 201, that is dot json, and then I can send the case note, like that. Think that's okay, or maybe I can just come here and just send the message. Let me just send the message. So case note added, or added successfully, like that. So what else do I need? So here I'm going to say res.status, and then 500 dot json, and here this should be an error, like that. So that is it. What else do I need? So here I'm going to actually remove all of this. So this one will be similar for clocking in and clock out. So here I'm going to start by clocking in. So here I'm say clocking functionality. So I'll just say router. Also it will be put, and here I'm going to add clocking as our route, clock in, and then ID. So clock in, and then I'll just say ID, like that. So here I'm going also to add request, and then response, and this time here I can now start the functionality. Here I'll add async, like that. So let me check here also the other thing that I need. So here I'm going to say try catch as a try catch here. So try catch, and in here I'm going to get data from our front end. So what data do I need? I need to get like time, and then coordinates or codes, and then here accuracy, like that. This one will be from request.body, like that. So now the other thing that I need to do is I'll say if we have time, and also if we have, let's look for, and then codes, like that. And then I think these are okay, or maybe I can just say accuracy also, like that. I can now be able to now update or push our information. So I'll just say const I'll just say await, just say shift dot find by ID and update. So this one here, and the first thing that I need is request dot params dot ID, and then so I'm going here also to use the function for pushing, because remember also is an array, and then push here you need to say croaking. So I'm going to push in this field that we called croaking, and here I'm going to push from time codes, and then I'm going to push also the accuracy, so this data here. So what else do I need? So after this, now I'm going to send. So here I can say here, actually let me check here, I can just leave at that, and then let's say test.status here, and then 201 here, and then dot JSON, and then I'll say croaking has been successful, like that. So that is it, and here I can just copy this error and then paste it. So this error will come here like that. So now, because croaking in and croak out is the same thing, so it's almost the same thing. So I'm going to copy this, all of this from here, and then let me copy this, and then here I'm going to say croak out. So croak out, and then I'll push this, or I'll just paste this, and then here I'll just say croak out, and here also we are going to look for croak out, not croaking, like that. What else do I need? I think there's nothing that I need to do, nothing else that I need to do. So this is croak out, yeah, and then just like that. So these are the functionality for shift. So you can see in shift we need to have a lot of functionality. So I'm just going to format this, and then let me save it, so you can see how easy it is, and now we have all the functions that we need for shift. So right now I'll end this video here, because also I don't want it to be very long, and in our next video we are going to look at middlewares, because remember we need to also make sure that a user who is the user who is able to access some informations, like maybe adding a shift, or maybe getting all the shift, they need to be able to have login, and in this case here, anybody either logged in or not will be able to access our information. So we need to make sure that a person who is accessing our information in our database has logged in first of all, so that we can maintain security. So that is it. Let me see you in the next video. Have a great day.